So Musa alayhi salam says, I want to follow you so I can learn from you what Allah gave to you. Listen to the answer. Listen to the answer. Khidr alayhi salam replies and says, إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. You cannot show patience with me in what I have to teach. How can you bear with patience that which lies beyond your capacity to comprehend? Because you are one-eyed. إِنَّكَ لَن تَسْتَطِيعَ مَعِيَ صَبْرًا وَكَيْفَ تَصْبِرُ عَلَى مَا لَمْ تُحِطْ بِهِ خُبْرًا. These are the two most important ayat in the epistemology of the Quran. So when you become a student of such a teacher, when you find your khidr, I am now an old man, tomorrow I'll be in my grave, but you are young, and you're going to be searching for your khidr, the scholar who is the only one who can be a guide in Akhir Zaman. Remember to be humble. Don't go with boxing gloves. Don't go challenging him. Be patient with him until he explains to you your khidr. So Musa said, I promise you, I will be patient. Okay, I accept you. You can come along, but on one condition. Don't ask any questions. Teachers don't behave like this. Which normal teacher speaks like that? Huh? How could a teacher tell the student, don't ask any questions? This is not a normal teacher. This is khidr. And this is the price you will have to pay if you want to study ilmu akhirul zaman. So he promises he will not ask any questions. And then they travel, and then there's the boat, and there's the boy, and then there's the wall. I don't have to tell you, you all know. I have this book, which is the Tafsir, Surah Al-Kahf, the text, translation and commentary, which is the whole surah. And I have this one, which is Surah Al-Kahf in the modern age, which is the ta'weel of the surah. I have this one, which is on Ya'juj and Ma'juj, which is the third book on Surah Al-Kahf. I have one more to write and make dua that I can write it on Dajjal, then the quartet will be finished. You must not ask any questions, and then 3 events occur. And on each occasion, Musa alayhi salam delivers judgment, and his judgment is wrong. His judgment is wrong because he does not have a full knowledge of the subject. His judgment is wrong because he does not have a full knowledge of the subject. He's only seeing a part of it. Like today we now have pipe-borne water, and everybody performing the wudu with the pipe-borne water, and everybody performing the wudu of Gog and Magog, and everybody have abandoned the wudu of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam. They don't understand. A trap was set for them, and they walked into the trap. And they're performing a disgraceful wudu. That's the wudu they're performing. And with that wudu, they want to perform salat. And then they come to teach you Islam. And they cannot even perform wudu. So you have a partial understanding, and you make the mistake. That's what happened to Musa alayhi salam. Or, I didn't want to say it last night, but let me say it now. I hope I don't spoil your lunch. You cannot get nur without water. You cannot get nur without water. Water is the road to nur. Water. Aye. And if you disrespect water, forget it. No nur for you. You cannot waste water and still expect to get nur. And that's what you do when you make wudu now. Do you think the American Indians who lived in America before the devil came to take over America? The devil came from Europe to take over America. The American Indians, and there is a stream of water, and there are fish in the water, and the fish is food, and he is so good, he can take a spear and catch a fish. And he wants to urinate, he wants to pass water. Do you think an American Indian will go and urinate in the river? How come you're so quiet? What's wrong with you, so quiet? No. An American Indian will show respect for water. He will not urinate into water. He will not pass his stool into water. Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam would dig a hole and put the stool there and cover it. And that's the best way, up to this day, the best way. Because it can then decompose because of oxygen, become fertilizer. But we have our PhDs. We belong to the age of progress and knowledge. So we do it in something called a WC. Yeah. We urinate into water. And Allah says, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Even if it be an evil deed as small as the weight of an ant, you're going to have to answer for it. Urinating into water? Nobody ever did that before. Dajjal came along with his WC toilet. And then defecating, putting the stool into water so it cannot decompose anymore. No, there's no oxygen in the water. And then it goes through a sewage system. And where it is pumped into the lakes and into the rivers and to the coastal waters, contaminating the lakes and the rivers and the coastal water. This is the modern age. And the fish eat it. And then we buy the fish and it's, mashallah, ikan baka. So you're only seeing a part of the subject and you make wrong judgment. And Musa did it 3 times. Khidr alayhi salam, because he has full knowledge, he can see what Musa cannot see. And believe you me, we have plenty blind people in the world today. Believe you me, we actually have people in the world today with the knowledge of cattle that you could take a piece of paper, put a picture on it, put a number on it, and give it a fictitious value. And it becomes money, and even your central bank don't have 5 ringgits worth of knowledge and intelligence to understand this is bogus, this is fraudulent, this is utterly haram. And Imran Hosein could talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. It makes no difference. It makes no difference. If you had a little bit of sense, you'll understand that Israel is not so stupid as you are. That tomorrow Israel is going to bring gold and silver as money, while you stupid, foolish Muslims still remain following the enemies of Islam with this bogus money. Israel is going to bring gold and silver tomorrow as money. I hope I don't live to see that day, because the shame and the embarrassment will be too great for me. My ummah, the ummah of Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, and you cannot even recognize this as bogus and fraudulent, as haram. Where are the scholars of Islam? Musa alayhi salam does not have the full knowledge. Khidr has the full knowledge. And so Khidr is able to explain the boat, the boy, and the wall. I want to end with a little bit of ta'weel on all three. In the case of the boat, he damaged it because he knows that something is coming and they're going to lose their property. And by damaging it, he saved the boat. So when you have knowledge which comes directly from Allah, you are able to anticipate what is coming. My critics, and they have no other job in the world other than to criticize Imran Hosein. No, his books must not be in our bookshop. No, he must not be invited to come and lecture. Protestant Islam. When you have the knowledge that comes directly from Allah, when Allah blesses you with that insight, you are able to look ahead and you can see events which are about to occur. Like, for example, I mentioned last night that nuclear war is coming. Nuclear war is around the corner between United States and NATO on the one hand and Russia and China on the other. There'll only be one nuclear war in history. Only one. Can't be two. Huh? That nuclear war is coming. And they want it sooner rather than later. Because the longer they wait, the stronger will Russia become. I was of the opinion that perhaps the nuclear war would be 5 or 10 years from now. And then I went to attend a conference in Iran in September, a conference of independent thinkers. And on the first night that I was there, I had 2 dreams, one after the other. And in both the dreams, I saw nuclear war. I saw the missiles being shot into the sky. And I saw that Pakistan was a part of the nuclear war. The Christians call it Armageddon. The Prophet ﷺ called it Malhama. Would it not be of benefit if we are able to anticipate that nuclear war is coming? And what can we do to prepare for it? Yes, only Allah knows the future. You don't have to tell me that. But Allah can, if He wishes, convey knowledge to those whom He chooses. And so with the methodology of Khidr alayhi salam, you can look into the future and see that a king is coming to seize the boats. And by damaging the boat, he saves the boat. Similarly, today we know the US dollar is going to collapse, probably with the nuclear war. I don't think it will collapse before that, but I can be wrong. And when the US dollar collapses, all the paper money in the world will go with it, including your ringgit. Their plan is to have one universal currency, one for all of mankind. And it will be invisible electronic money. And if we are so stupid to accept the paper money, will we be so stupid to accept the electronic money as well? When we should be returning to dinar and dirham? So, when you have internal, intuitive, spiritual insight, and you study Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran, you're able to anticipate what is coming. Number 2, the boy. The boy. And he killed the boy because he knew that this boy was going to grow up to join ISIS and go fight the bogus jihad and become a threat not only to his parents but to the whole ummah. You can see ahead. But now look at something else. The wall. And the wall is collapsing. And he rebuilds the wall. And Musa cannot understand why he's rebuilding the wall amongst the people who would not offer any hospitality. The answer is because of the knowledge which comes from him, he could not only look into the future, he could also look into the past and reinterpret history. That there is a treasure underneath the wall. It belongs to two orphans. And Allah wants that these orphans should grow up and get the treasure that their father left for them. So when you have this knowledge which comes directly from Allah, you're not only able to look into the future and anticipate what is coming, you're also able to look back into the past and connect the dots of history and recognize the dot that connects Pax Britannica with Pax Americana, with Pax Judaica, which is around the corner. And you'll understand, therefore, the movement of history. And you'll be able to anticipate how much time is there left before the Malhama. And then when the Malhama takes place, what comes after that? The conquest of, help me somebody, come on, help me somebody. After the Malhama, the conquest of, you got homework to do, the conquest of Constantinople. Your Prophet said so. The Malhama is coming, the nuclear war, and after the nuclear war, the next thing to occur will be the conquest of Constantinople. That is why Mustafa Kemal changed the name and prohibited the use of the word Constantinople. And we say to Mustafa Kemal, get lost. If Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam referred to the city as Constantinople, then that's Sunnah. No Mustafa Kemal could tell me I cannot follow the Sunnah. Huh? The conquest of Constantinople makes military sense only in one context, and that is that the Russian Navy could pass through the Bosphorus and the Straits of Dardanelles into the Mediterranean Sea. So we can say from USM, we can say it today, that Russia will survive the nuclear war. NATO, you can put that in your pipe and smoke it. Russia will survive the nuclear war as a naval power. And the Russian Navy will pass through the Bosphorus and the Straits of Dardanelles into the Mediterranean. Because when we conquer Constantinople, NATO's back will be broken. What comes after the conquest of Constantinople? Khuruj of Dajjal. Khuruj of Dajjal. And after that comes Imam al-Mahdi, and then comes the return of Nabi Isa alayhi salam. But that's not our subject for today. I suggest to you the Surah Al-Kahf of the Quran is the surah par excellence of Ilmu Akhir al-Zaman. And if you have to spend the rest of your life studying it, you must do so.